Hey, what's up? So today I thought I'd show you some of my concert tickets that I still have. I know I lost a lot of them, but I'll be showing them in sequential order from the oldest date going forward. So I won't be playing any guitar today, getting deep into those states of consciousness. Isn't this pretty damn cool? It's a little Angus Young from AC/DC replica guitar. It's got the lightning bolts on the fretboard. Almost looks pretty real when you get this close, huh? Here's some of those things I like to do when I'm playing. Yeah. But yeah, so let me start getting into this. Show you some of these concert tickets. First one I got is Friday, October 7th, 1983. And this is when I went to go see Dio. And that was at the Santa Monica Civic Center in California. Dio was the singer from Black Sabbath, and he just went solo. So this was a really cool concert. There were no seats, from what I remember, at the Santa Monica Civic. And I was 12 years old. So I remember making my way through all the people, trying to catch a view of everybody. We were about, literally 25 feet from the stage. So we had a good view and a good way to hear the music. It was loud. It was a good show. You know, Vivian Campbell on the guitar. From time to time, my brother would put me on his shoulders so I could get a really good view of the show. He is 3 years older than me, so he was about 15 at the time. But he grew tall at a young age. So yeah, if you notice right here, KMET, that's a radio station that used to be in LA. It's not around no more, if anybody remembers that. And I remember Rough Cut opened up for Dio. Second ticket I got is Monday, October 17th, 1983. About a week later. And here we got the mighty AC/DC at the Fabulous Forum. And I remember Fastway opened up for AC/DC. I went with my brother as well because I was still 12 years old. My brother, one of his friends actually dressed up as Angus Young in the whole schoolboy outfit. He had the hat with the horns and the A. I would never do that, but he was a big fan of AC/DC. And he's the one who actually started showing me how to play AC/DC songs on guitar when I started playing, which was barely a year before. I remember when we got there, we were maybe in the 30th row on the floor, so we had good seats again as well. And the lights were still on. We sat down, and over to our right, the kind of like the right side of the, not looking directly at them, but a little bit to the right of the stage, two guys start walking up with their girls as well, and they ended up being Vince Neil and Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. So we noticed them, and they went and sat down. And then people started noticing them as well. Went over, got their autographs, and we were like, hey, let's go over there and shake their hands and get their autographs. So we did just that. I remember getting Vince Neil and Nikki Sixx's autographs and shaking their hands. I guess my memory's hazy because I remember them signing my ticket, but there's no autograph on this ticket. So maybe they gave me back the stub. I mean, I don't remember. But I remember I had those autographs for years. And then they just disappeared on me. I don't know what happened to them. But yeah, it was a good show. They were still very, they were still in their younger years, so it was a very energetic show. When they played rocker, they always do that thing where Angus Young gets on, in this case, Brian Johnson's shoulders and plays, just soloing. They did that, and then they walked off of the stage, and then they came down the aisle. Right to our right, they were going to come down the aisle and start, walking down the aisle and while he's jamming. The minute they come down, they shine the spotlight on them, and then, the people just bum rushed everybody, just crowded around them. And they wouldn't let him pass, they wouldn't let him walk. He was going to walk down the aisle with him jamming. But people just were so excited to be around him that they stopped him. So they just stayed right there in that area for a few minutes. And then they turned around and went back on the stage. So I was like, oh man, because we were right on the edge of the aisle. They would have came up. But it was just too much of a frenzy, so that's what happened. Next one I got is Friday, April 19th, 1985. And this is Venom, Slayer, and Oz. Oz didn't end up playing at this show. Instead, it was the band Exodus, which was Kirk Hammett's first band. Kirk Hammett, the guitarist from Metallica. And that was more better, actually, because I was really into Exodus back then. Their first album was the only one out, Bonded by Blood. Slayer was out with Hell Awaits. And Venom, I think it was only Black Metal. That album was out. And if you've seen any of my other talking video, I have a connection to Slayer. My brother was actually in the road crew at this show. I was 13 years old at this time. I would have turned 14 in June, in another 2 months. But I was at that age where my brother didn't want to take me backstage and feel that responsibility of taking care of me or whatever, which I didn't want him to do that anyway. I was like, hey, but he didn't want to take me. So I had to buy a ticket. But you notice the price? Look at that. $12 for this show back then. But once we got in there, we were hanging out with my bro and all the other, John Araya, Tom Araya's younger brother, who was in a band with my brother. We were hanging out with all of them. And this was a really good show. Slayer was really kick-ass back then. They were highly energetic back then. Venom too. Venom was really good. They were the headliners. I remember after the show, maybe it was the next weekend. Probably was, I'm sure. Or it might have been a weekday. But my brother told me that the guys from Venom were hanging out at the garage where Slayer and my brother's band practice. So they were hanging out and partying for a day, and that just happened to be one of those days where I didn't go down there. So I was like, oh man, I missed out. But it's all good. The next one I got is September 6th, 1986. And this is the punk rock band from England, Discharge, at Fender's Ballroom in Long Beach. Fender's Ballroom was the happening place for punk rock back in the day. I went to so many shows over there. This was a really cool show. Discharge headlined, but who I really wanted to go see was Dr. No. Dr. No is one of my favorite punk rock bands. They're from Oxnard, and I think a couple guys from El Monte, California. And Cryptic Slaughter also played. They were just really, really fast. Speed metal-ish from what I remember. There was also a band called Vicious Circle, which I had never heard of, and they were from Europe, but they were really good as well. I really liked them. I remember when Discharge came on, the first song they played, and the way they looked, it was a whole change. Because if you know Discharge, they were just hardcore punk. They had a certain hardcore sound. The singer had a really raw voice. But they came out looking really glam rock. And they were playing this glam rock up-tempo song, the first song they played. And the singer, it had to have been a new singer. But man, he had this really high, screechy voice compared to the really raw sound that they used to have. Damn, my stomach. Once they finished that first song, everybody just booed. The whole place was just booing. And, they just went on through, played another song, kept on playing. After another three or four songs, all of us were like, man, they suck now. None of us liked it. So we ended up taking off, and a lot of people were just walking out, leaving, because they're like, damn, what the hell happened here? So that was that show. So the next thing I got is actually a backstage pass to Slayer. This is the Rain and Blood tour. So this was, I remember I went in '86. So this is finally my brother allowed me to go be part of the road crew and just hang out all day, setting up the drums, the amplifiers and all that. Yeah, this is the pass that I had on my shirt, walking around the show all proudly, making sure everybody sees it. I'm going backstage. But yeah, I also had they gave me some other passes as well that I didn't have to stick, so I would hold on to them. And then I had this one as well. The after show only. So yeah, that was a really cool night. Slayer on the Rain and Blood tour, which a lot of people would agree is their best album. The opening bands were Testament, Metal Church, and Overkill, and maybe somebody else, but I think that was it as far as I remember. Really high-powered show at the Olympic Auditorium in LA, downtown LA. I remember walking around during the show and seeing Billy Milano, which was the singer for SOD, Stormtroopers of Death. They had an album out. I believe it was called Sergeant D. But the guys who played instruments in that band were the guys from Anthrax. So I remember going up to him and just shaking his hand and asking him, hey, is there going to be another SOD album coming out? And he was just like, I don't know. I just kind of looked away. Like he wasn't interested in talking. He was probably getting that from people all night, So, I mean, I wasn't offended. I was like, oh, all right. So I just walked away. It's all good. But yeah, that was a good show. The best I've ever seen Slayer live was that Rain and Blood show. The next one I got is from Sunday, December 18th, 1988. This one's fading. Damn. But if you see, it's Public Enemy, Ice-T, EPMD, Stetsasonic at the Celebrity Theater, if I could see it right, which was in Anaheim, California. They're all California. Yeah, this is a rap show. I was into the hip hop since it came out. Sugar Hill Gang in 78, I think, 79, I don't know. But I remember when it came out. So the Celebrity Theater, there was a stage in the middle, and it was round. The whole place was round. And then there was chairs elevated as they went back. So you always got a clear view of the show. And it wasn't too big of a place either. So we sat down, and once they were setting up for Ice-T, we were kicking back, lighting up a joint, and all of a sudden, well, I had I think it was 4 of my friends sitting to my left, and then one of my friends to my right, and then there was like two or three seats to his right that were just open. Nobody sat there. When Ice-T's setting up, all of a sudden Ice-T himself starts walking in our aisle and sits not right next to my friend, but the next seat over, one space away from him. He sits right there, as we're toking it up, smoking a joint. And he was cool, he just kind of just, nodded, said what's up. And we weren't really all on him like, hey, Ice-T, what's up, man? Give your autograph. None of us did anything like that, just kind of said what's up to him. And he had a microphone with him, and he was just hanging out, and he ends up talking to the guys in the front, the row in front of us. Like 2 rows in front of us, all those guys right there. And then behind us as well, around there too, there was guys and girls he was talking to. And, listening to them talk, we realized that this is his crew, the Rhyme Syndicate. So they're sitting all around us, so that was really cool. We were like, hey, we're sitting around the whole crew of Ice-T, it's pretty cool. And as they're setting up the stage, some guy gives them Ice-T like a cue, check your mic. Ice-T got on the mic and he said, fuck the police, check 1. That was pretty cool. And I remember saying to my friend to my right, I was like, hey, what if that seat right next to you is going to be for his girlfriend, Darlene? If you remember Darlene, his girl, she's on the cover of Rhyme Pays and Power. Power, I think, was the album that was out at this point in 88. I was saying, imagine if she's gonna come right there and sit. And literally, right when I was saying that, she starts walking up, coming in the aisle, and she has a seat right next to my friend. And the both of us, all of us, were just like, oh man, because she was really beautiful, beautiful body, and ay ay ay. And yeah, so she sat down there too, and we were just amazed. It was like really cool experience. And as the Ice-T was ready to go on stage, they called him up. He went up there, but Darlene stayed there. You know, she felt comfortable. She's whole with our whole crew of Ice-Ts right there, so she stayed there. And I think more of those Rhyme Syndicate guys ended up sitting right next to her as well, right there. And we just watched the show, lighting up joints and having a good time. And everybody's just dancing and getting into the groove, and she's right there dancing. I'm trying to get a look at her from time to time, because she's really sexy. It's like, wow. And then Public Enemy was really good. They were the headliners. Their album It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back was the album that just came out. So they were really awesome too. They brought out Eazy-E from NWA. They just let him come out, and he just said what's up to the crowd on the mic. It's the round stage, so he kind of walked around the whole stage, saying what's up to everybody with his lokes, the whole gangster outfit. And he brought up on stage a group that he was representing, which was JJ Fad. They had that hit song Supersonic, 3 girls. So they brought them out, and they said what's up to everybody. And then everybody just booed. The whole place booed these girls. Nobody really liked them. I remember hearing that song, and I wasn't really into it either. It's like a poppy, rappy, kind of dancey kind of song I wasn't into. It actually used to make me laugh. So they just went off stage, and Public Enemy continued. So one more thing about the Public Enemy Ice-T show. After the show, we went back to our hood, Huntington Park, and we went to Tommy's Chili Burgers, this 24-hour spot where people used to hang out, grab a bite to eat. Nothing but eating outside. There was no indoors. And there used to be a lot of trouble go on around there. A lot of fights would break out sometimes. So we're out there, eating our food. Cops are always passing by. At this point in my life, I'm fully into the whole gangster lifestyle, all that. All of me and my friends are, all of us. The cops pass by at one point, and one of my friends flashes our gang sign at the cops. There's 2 cops in the car. The passengers, he notices that my friend is doing that, which was really stupid, so the cops they pull into the parking lot, and they come right up to us, and the cop that was in the passenger seat goes up to my friend and grabs him by the neck, squeezes his neck really hard. He's like, what the hell you think you're doing? Flashing a gang sign at me. Where are you from? And he tells him where he's from. He's like, what the hell what's your problem? Everybody, all of you guys, get up against the wall. So all of us, he put us up against the wall. The girlfriends as well. I don't think they checked the girls because they didn't call. Oh no, they did call for backup. But I don't think there was women cops there. But I can't remember. But yeah, they checked all of us. I guess we must have had our weed in the car because they didn't find anything. They didn't check our cars, but they were just hassling us. But I mean, my friend did a stupid thing, so can't say much about it. But he did hurt him on the neck pretty badly. But not, it wasn't like the next day he was sore. But yeah, they checked us and then they were just, they were like, so all of you guys are in this gang. And at this point, we're like, we're proud of being gangsters. So we're like, yeah, we're from so and so gang. And they were like, okay, well, we're gonna put you in the gang file, and we're gonna take you guys' pictures. So they did just that. They broke out the Polaroid camera, and they had each of us, just the guys, one at a time, stand up against the wall. Stand up and then flash our gang sign. So they did it to me, and they asked us if we had tattoos. They wanted to take pictures of our tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. I still don't. Got nothing against tattoos. It's just not my thing. But some of my friends had tattoos, so they took pictures of theirs. They just wrote all our names down. What's your gang name? Wrote our gang name down. Our gang. Our gang, our nickname. And then plus the gang we're in. They wrote all that stuff down. They had our ID, so they knew where we lived and all that. So I just wanted to talk about that experience really quick, because that was pretty interesting and stupid of my friend to flash a gang sign at a cop. Ridiculous. So the next one I got is Monday, January 6th, 1991. This one's getting really faded, just like my eyesight. But yeah, check this one out. This is An Evening with Metallica at the Great Western Forum. So this show, I went with one friend. We were totally, at this point I'm into the whole acid, mushrooms, psychedelic stuff. By the way, I don't condone any drugs or alcohol. I don't judge or look down or preach to people who choose to do that stuff either. I done it for 33 years of my life. I don't do it no more, but I don't waste my energy on looking down on people who do. But yeah, this was one of those days where I was both of us were dosing acid, and we didn't have tickets to the show, but we just decided, let's just go over there and see if we could get some tickets, scalp some tickets, buy some from a scalper. And we found a guy, and they ended up being fake tickets. But he was saying, they look real, man. You're going to get in. And I don't know how much we paid. Does this say the price? I don't remember. This is so faded I can't tell. But we paid 10 or 15 bucks maybe. And once we got up to the area where they're accepting tickets, actually before, when we're in the line, we're noticing other people that bought tickets from this guy. The person that was accepting the tickets was looking at the tickets and realizing these are fake tickets. And she would show them to the security guard, hey, we got another one. And they would just give them back the tickets and say, you can't come in. So at this point, we're like all sweating it. We're like, oh man, I don't think we're going to get in, but let's just keep our cool, even though we're all peaking on acid. But yeah, I end up getting up there, giving them my ticket, and they notice it's fake as well, and they didn't let us in. So at this point, we're like, hey, let's go find that guy and get our money back. So we walked around the parking lot and we found him really easily, because there was a whole group of people that were around him having the same issue. So he was actually cool. He gave everybody's money back to him, and yeah, that was what happened. But what we ended up doing was we stuck around the parking lot listening to Metallica and like, just thinking, how can we get in? Let's still try to get in. And we noticed one area towards the end of the show where people were just walking out. They were leaving early. And at the same time, some people that had walked out were walking back in and just showing them their tickets, to get back in. And so we started thinking, as people are walking out, let's ask them if they're leaving. If they're leaving, let's ask them if they'll give us their tickets so we could just get in for a little while. And we ended up finding, I think it was a couple at first, and only the guy wanted to give away his ticket. I guess they wanted to save one, for a souvenir. So my friend got the ticket, and I was like, damn, I don't got one. But I was like, go ahead, go in there. I'll meet you in there. I'll get a ticket, and I'll find you. So he went in, and I ended up doing the same thing, asking someone for a ticket. I got the ticket. I ended up getting to go in, and I think I only saw like 3 songs. I mean, I was so toasted out of my mind. I don't remember what the songs were that I saw. And I think they did, once they finished, and of course they were going to come back for an encore. But during that time when they left, I walked around the area where they are selling shirts, and I was looking for my friend, and I ended up finding him. So that was cool. And then we went back into the show and saw the rest of the encore. So, interesting experience. I think I'm gonna, let's see. Yeah, we'll cut it short right there, and I'll do another video, a part 2. So, yeah, I hope you guys are feeling relaxed and falling asleep or whatever, So I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.